go. All right. Thank you all very much for coming to this session. And I'm super excited to be here with two of my favorite people. So Vivek and Filisha, do you want to just give me a quick introduction to who you are and what you do?
Hey, Nitya. Yeah, super excited to be here. I'm Filisha. I work on the Foundry observability team.
Hey, I'm Vivek, and I also work on Foundry.
And I know we're talking a lot about agent optimization and like why it's so important. So maybe you can kick this off for us, Vivek, by kind of telling us what makes it so difficult for us to optimize an agent today.
Yeah, that's a good one. And agents are different from regular piece of software. The properties that makes agents so useful, like they're stateful, they're long horizon, they can plan, they can course correct, they interact with their environment through tools, are also the ones that makes it very hard to test. So regular piece of software, I generally have to find the right piece of logs and the right piece of software, and I can just trace through what's going on, and I can understand. With agents, that's no longer true, because as a developer, I'm not coding everything as is. That's the feature of agents. They also interact with the environment, so their state, the environment state and agent state drives its behavior. So it makes it incredibly hard to test, to reproduce, and those are all the problems where we are trying to solve with Foundry agent platform too, all the way from build, run, and operate, where you can trace, eval, and optimize all in one platform.
I think actually, and we've been doing this for a day now, and like talking to a bunch of developers, and having like a unified platform with end-to-end observability all the way from your planning to production is amazing. But he mentioned logs.
Yeah.
So how exactly do we go from like looking at these logs to getting to the point where we
I think observability or like actually testing agents is really hard. I think that's sort of where Vivek is going, and that's where like Foundry really shines in some ways, is like being able to understand how to test something that's non-deterministic is like the whole new science behind evaluations, right? Evaluators essentially are these, they rely on queries between like sample queries or like sample data. And they follow a pattern that you then use a non-deterministic LLM behind the scenes to then ask, hey, my agent, how does it match up against something that I think should be the kind of answer? So from a very base perspective, evaluators are sort of your new test-driven development is what I like to call it, right? And we can use them both in the inner loop for development, where you evaluate on top of data sets, and you can use them in the outer loop where you evaluate on top of like live production traces coming in. And that connection helps you keep up with the health of your agent.
Yeah, but I was also going to say that one of the things that really struck out was the eval rubrics.
Yes.
So yeah, people are super excited about that. What does that do for us?
The eval rubrics is like a new type of evaluator that Foundry has come up with, and gives you this multi-dimensional way to evaluate, which is specific to your agent, and it gives you like these weighted evaluators, and they tackle a lot of different dimensions, and you'll see that the coverage is so good that no matter what type of metric you're trying to track, it is able to handle that pretty well and guardrail against some edge cases. Yeah.
I will tell you, people were fascinated by eval rubrics, and I can't wait to try them out. But I think we kind of talked about why Agent DevOps is changing, and we've talked about why evaluation-driven development is important for developers. But there's this one last thing, right? We all know that the first time we build an agent, we can make it work. But once it's in production, it needs to keep changing. So what are the things that we need to think about once it's in production to keep continuously optimizing it? Maybe I'll start with the inner loop.
Yeah, I mean, I think I keyed this up a little bit, but I think the thing that you want to make sure is that, again, you are testing against any regressions, right? So whenever you make any, it's just the same principles that we use for regular apps. It's just you are now applying the non-determinism layer, so the things that you're testing are just slightly different. So you're doing the same thing, and the way to maintain the piety of that is to maintain the health of your data sets. There's this concept of like golden data sets and these concepts that come in, that you test anything you do against certain sets of evaluators that Foundry will recommend, by the way, to you. And then you test against that, and then you hand it to production, and then...
Yeah, and I will say that I completely blame Filisha for this, but she made me kind of learn about Foundry skills, and they were amazing. But that brings us to the highlight of this, like when in production, what do we do?
Yeah, absolutely. So the vision is that the more agent runs, the better it gets, right? And to enable it, it really starts with inner loop, where you define what good looks like through evaluations, rubrics, and then the production traces sort of drive your representative set of tasks. And if you can use those tasks and then rubrics to then reflect and see that what should change in this agent, and then assess if that change is actually working based on, again, the data sets that created through the traces and the rubrics that are provided, then you can continuously improve that agent. That's where the Foundry Agent Optimizer is working. And the goal really is to have this sort of this continuously improving agents. The more sessions they see, the better they become.
Yeah, and I have to give a shout out. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely go check out their breakout. It was BRK252. Ask me how I know. But it was the most awesome demo that you did. And Agent Optimizer, I think, is going to be one of the things everyone should try out. Is it in private preview? Public
It's in gated preview.
It's in gated.
And it'll be coming public preview by end of this month. But you can still sign up and you can check out. Right.
So remember Vivek's name, send him all your feedback, because
Yes.
he's going to personally fix it all. But I think that those are the main things that I heard in the end-to-end observability story. So Agent Optimizer, Foundry Skills, evals. And I think the other thing that I heard is we can now do evaluation of both single-turn and multi-turn conversations.
Yes, you can give the entire conversational context, right? Like, so you multi-turn, and then you also have user simulations that you can check on top of your traces to see exactly if there is a trace that's run against your eval and there's something that's gone wrong, you can, like, with a quick click, actually find the representative query of what that was, the harmful trace or whatever.
Yeah, check out trace replace. You will not regret it. The coolest thing ever.
I love how excited you are by this, Nitya. So let me ask you, what is the best agent you have made so far?
Oh, you're just setting me up. Okay, so because she said so, you got to go check out the lab. It's not the best agent. The best agent is the agent you learn from, right?
Yes.
Like, you got to have an agent that breaks so you can fix it, and you learn by fixing it. So that's my favorite agent. What did you expect me to say, James Bond or something? It doesn't work. But we have about, I think, a minute left. So I'm going to put you on the spot. You're not allowed to choose your own products because that's what they wanted to do. What is the one thing you got out of Build? Like, what was one thing that stood out for you at Build this year?
Yeah, and this is my first build. So
welcome.
I really just like interacting with the developers over here. We have been building for a while, a lot of these pieces of software and thinking about how end-to-end observability and optimization should be. But there's talking to the developers one-on-one, talking to them like how they are solving their problems and how this fits in is so exciting. That has been the best part. There's so many takeaways that I have, so many LinkedIn connects I have from all of that. Yep.
I was going to say, we named it Build, and it's all about builders. How about you, Filisha?
I really like the food that they're serving. So I really like how people go around on trays and give you food. I genuinely think it's really fun. I like the venue. It's kind of fun that it's indoor, outdoor. I feel like a lot of people are seeing the day for the first time in their life. It's kind of just bringing the outdoors to developers. But I actually, the thing that I actually really like is, collaborating in person. I think it always energizes me to be around people and, having a good time with my coworkers backstage. It makes me realize that I'm working with real humans to build agents.
There you have it, folks. Thank you all very much. And don't forget to go check out the BRK252 breakout, and we'll see you all. Have a wonderful build.
Thank you.